Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and to say that I am tired right now would be an understatement, but through it all, I am going to try and post a video, so I do kind of apologize if I ramble a little bit or anything. It has been a heck of a weekend to say the least. So anyway, let's dive right in. I want to talk about what makes an account, what's the difference between a good and a great account, because I think a lot of times what players will ask is, oh, do I have a good account, like what's a great account, and I think these are a couple of indicators that I look at to determine if a account is good or great. And again, it's just my opinion, right? I don't want you guys to think that, oh, if something you have isn't listed here, that doesn't mean you have a great account, whatever. Like, this is just my opinion. It's how I look at things. So let's dive right in. Before we get into that, you guys know the drill. If you want to have a great account, you need to have Wampa, right? Because Wampa is king. Guys, we're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers on the channel. When we hit 5,000, Wampa will hit Relegate on a special live stream. He may not be in every team, but he's always right here in our hearts. Okay. So, let's go. I called this harsh opinions again. It's not harsh opinions. It is something else. So, what makes an account good versus great? So, the first thing to keep in mind is, do you have like what I call lifters and other lifters, right? And these are lifter units that are not like Commander Tano, things like that. These lift squads. So for example, Vandor Chewbacca L3. Do you have them to lift your Dash Rendar smugglers? That without them, Dash Rendar really struggles. So do you have these characters that are going to lift that team to a level it's not at? Do you have Zori to complement your leftover resistance and make them a force to be reckoned with? Even someone like Omega, who gets a lot of hate, a Bad Batch team with Omega in it has the ability to punch up a little bit more. You're going to have a lot more survivability in that team. She adds another layer to them that is missing without her. And then do you have like the Hoth Rebel Scout, who I have to kind of take the place of the Mon Mothma team? That do you have those additional characters that Mon Mothma team goes from something that you're not even worried about to, oh crap, like this team could run a turn meter train on me. I also have some other lifters down here. Again, just kind of showing you that there's so many characters you could pick from. So we're going to go this way and go over here. So Iden Versio. With her, she's representing her entire squadron. Where I'll give her some credit that you could build her up is that her TIE Defender ship is very good. So I know for myself, I will probably be investing some gear in Iden at some point purely for her ship. And then worry about her team at a later date. Canderous Ordo kind of taking the slot for Mandalorians. That a Maul team with a Relic Canderous is so much more difficult than a Maul team with a Gear 12 Canderous. It is astronomically harder when he's Relic levels. He's just so good. It's such a great team. So, you know, again, Queel, IG-11, kind of that same thing, right? They fit into that same cloth of they make Scoundrels significantly better, and then Visas Mar being probably that best light side on the line force user to use with Starkiller right now. That do you have these characters? Do you have these lifter units to beef up your account? Like you look, I only really have 2 of these characters at any decent relic levels, and the rest of them I don't have. So like I myself am kind of saying, look, my account really isn't that great because I don't have these things. If I had these characters, if I had some gear on them, maybe the discussion could be different, but right now I don't, and that's something that I think costs me a lot of GACs. Alright, the next thing that it has to be said is speed, right? You need fast characters. You cannot have a great account if you don't have some speed. So I have my fastest characters here. Again, they're pretty quick, right? My Echo, definitely a little bit ruinous at 373 speed. Again, Mara Jade here, she's about 353 speed. My Dash, who is way too fast for how little use I get out of him, 350. And then my Darth Revan is at 342 speed. So, these characters, right? It's important that you have these guys, that they're fast, right? You need some speed in your roster if you want to have a great account, because there are some characters who really rely on speed to be good. So it has to be said. I'm sorry if that makes you mad, but it's the truth. You do need some raw speed. But along with that, you need mod quality. And let me explain what I mean by mod quality. We're going to start with someone like Jedi Master Luke first. I've gone into his kit at great length. I've gone into all these characters' kits at great length in terms of these mods. But with Jedi Master Luke, remember with his leadership ability, right, that with inherited teachings, you're going to deal damage based on 60% of his base protection. So you need to load him up with protection. So with him, yes, speed can be nice. I've got some decent speed on my Jedi Master Luke, but you look and I prioritized protection more so than I prioritized speed. And that's extremely important, right? That you want to prioritize protection. That's a mod quality thing that I recognize. Yes, he's not as fast as maybe someone else's, but for what I'm using him for, I don't need him to be as fast. I need him to have more protection. And so I'm saying this because, that's a situation where if you have a Jedi Master Luke who's faster than mine but only has half as much protection, I guarantee you mine's doing better. I'm guarantee you I'm doing more with mine because of the protection pool. Another good example, we'll go to Commander Luke Skywalker. Again, I've dove into his kit so much, but you throw crit damage mods on your Commander Luke Skywalker, and you're basically ensuring that your team isn't going to be dealing as much damage. So sure, your Commander Luke may end up hitting harder than mine because you have crit damage, but my entire team is going to be hitting harder because of Chupio's unique ability. So, again, that mod quality of you want to build your Commander Luke around offense and tenacity, the stats that he's sharing with the team through the Chupio unique. That's why I say, that's a huge mod quality thing. You've got to understand the mods that are going to make this character tick. And then General Skywalker, this is another one I see people constantly make mistakes on. One of the most common counters to General Skywalker is Commander Luke. And Commander Luke deals exposed damage, which is based on your max health. So my General Skywalker, even at 77,000 health, is a bit much for me. But you notice I've got no health set on him, so it's really just coming from some secondaries that have some health percent on them. Like there's 5%, 1% there, 5% there. I mean, I've got some health percentages that I need to move off whenever I can. But the big thing is that I've got a lot of protection, and I've got decent speed and then offense numbers. So with General Skywalker, that mod quality coming into play, that if you run a super high, health General Skywalker, the Commander Luke team has that much more of a chance of, not only just destroying it, but destroying it for good banners. So, mod quality. You can't just be fast. You need to have your characters modded well, because in some cases, yes, the faster team will win. But in other cases, the better modded team will win because they're going to be able to stay in the fight longer and utilize those stats more so than others. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about this good versus great account. It's not just about having the fastest mods possible. It's also about having the right mods on the right characters so you can get the most out of them. All right, and then GL lifters. And, again, this kind of should be a no-brainer, right? But does your Rey have Ben Solo? Does your Lord Vader have Maul? Does your Jedi Master Kenobi have Commander Tano? Do you have the lifter units with your Galactic Legend so that way they're operating at their max efficiency? I think one of the big things I've seen so many players make the mistake of is they go and get Kenobi because he was heralded as the best Galactic Legend without realizing that you needed Commander Tano for him to work. So you need to have these Galactic Legend lifters, or else you're only going to have a good account. You won't have a great account if you don't have these guys with your Galactic Legends. I'm sorry to be that guy to tell you that, but that's the truth. It's not worth it without these characters. And then finally, Galactic Legend quality is another thing. And I kind of have, a mix array here, but, you have someone like Sith Eternal, and then you go up against someone who has Kylo. The guy with Kylo is probably going to win more often than the person with Sith Eternal, because Sith Eternal cannot beat Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Sith Eternal cannot beat that team without help. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren can solo Sith Eternal. So there's this aspect that, whoever has the better GL quality, right, that if you've got Lord Vader, Jabba the Hutt, and then your opponent has Sith Eternal and Kylo, I mean, the guys with Lord Vader and Jabba are going to win probably 10 times out of 10 because they're better Galactic Legends and they require harder counters than what these characters have to offer at times. So, again, I'm just making this case that Galactic Legend quality does come into play here, that you could have more Galactic Legends than your opponent, right? You could have Jedi Master Luke, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Sith Eternal, and, Rey. You could have those 4. And if your opponent has Lord Vader, Jabba, and Jedi Master Kenobi, I guarantee you the one with the newer galactic legends will win every single time, simply because there is so few ways to get through them. I don't know, guys. That's kind of, the way that I view a good versus great account. It's not just about, oh, do you have like the fastest mods possible? Like, how do they look? Do you have the Galactic Legend and Galactic Legend Lifter, quality and the units to go with them? Because you could go and get Rey. But if you don't have Ben Solo, your Rey team is that much more vulnerable to off-meta counters. You don't have Commander Tano for your Jedi Master Kenobi, and I'm going to beat it with General Skywalker. So that's kind of, that's the video, guys. I think that's about, what I want to cover here today, right? Just that difference between what makes an account good and great. I think it's these things. I don't think there's this complex formulaic equation of, oh, this, or this. Like, it's, do you have these little things, right? It's not this big gap, right? Like, you notice I didn't say, oh, a great account has, all Galactic Legends. No, just their quality is good, that they didn't waste any of their Galactic Legends. Or they've got some of these lifter units to build onto the teams they have already. So that's the video. We're going to leave it with our king. You guys know the drill. 5,000 subscribers. If you're still watching right now, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Wampa is king. I love all you guys. May the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.